What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Fisker. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down, what just came out associated to the company itself, and if there is any validity or not. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. With that said, let's get right to it. So today it did go up 3.53%. After hours though, this is where all hell broke loose, and it is down 46.32% based off of this. So Fisker shares in free fall as company plans bankruptcy filing. So when it comes down to Fisker, we already do know that they are burning through quite a lot of cash, especially considering they recently announced their big reorganization, which of course costs a lot of money. Based on their last earnings, they were burning through roughly about $500 to $600 million. And again, based on their last earnings, they had about $326.8 million in cash equivalents and short-term investments. So logically, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to kind of conclude that they are needing money this quarter. In fact, probably this month. And I have brought it up in previous videos. And so of course, when that whole Nissan rumor came out roughly about 2 weeks ago, people were ecstatic. People were so happy because essentially this whole agreement, $400 million, would really help Fisker kind of maintain its operations, at least again, just for probably this quarter and a bit. But then this comes out. And so ultimately this did come from the Wall Street Journal, but it actually does talk on the whole Nissan thing. So it says the company was in talks with Japan's Nissan Motor for a possible investment of $400 million in Fisker's truck platform and blah, blah, blah. One thing that you need to pay attention to is the word was, meaning that it concluded clearly without a favorable response, right? So Nissan didn't clearly go for Fisker. And so when I last did a video, I kind of talked on the whole Nissan scenario and a lot of the current data points, and someone put out a comment and I actually had no answer to it. And the comment was, what is holding Nissan back, or potentially one of the many contenders that Fisker kind of said that they were in talks with, was holding any of them back from just letting Fisker go bankrupt, and then essentially Nissan stepping in and buying all the assets and intellectual properties for 10 cents on the dollar. So that I had no answer because logically that does make sense, because even though a lot of people really do like Fisker is burning through a lot of cash. And like I said, even this month in among itself, they were needing money. So technically they needed this whole partnership, whether it be with Nissan or someone else, to save them, because bankruptcy ultimately without some kind of big dynamic change or inflow of capital, Fisker was heading that route. And so ultimately, yes, there is some validity to this. Is it coming like next week or the week after? Probably not, because in theory, Fisker could really dilute quite significantly to really save and rectify this. But the only caveat to that, especially with that pending delisting, this is where things get very interesting and where they would need to do a massive reverse stock split. And why would anyone buy Fisker if they already know massive dilution is coming, as well as a reverse stock split? So all in all, I do not think that this should be taken lightly, but at the same time, you shouldn't really make full financial decisions based on this, because no different than the whole Nissan rumor, it's just speculation. There isn't anything concrete from the company itself. And even myself, when that Nissan news did come out, I actually bought, just based on everything and kind of me reading between the lines. I actually did sell roughly about 30 minutes later. I took the loss, unfortunately. Actually, I think I kind of broke even somewhat. But overall, I kind of concluded that it was just a rumor. No different than this. So a lot of this probably is just paper hands, maybe one very large institution selling, and that did trigger a lot of stop losses and a lot of volatility. So right now I feel based on this, a lot of this is just very minimal volume as well. So that is something to kind of consider. But is it a reason to get into Fisker? Who knows? Again, you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. A lot of people are also speculating that possibly the PIF might be swooping in. because the PIF has really shown commitment towards EVs over the last little bit, and they have shown that they are willing to kind of put the money where it needs to be, and especially based on Fisker right now being at the market cap, which right now, not counting after hours because I don't think this amends to that, but 183.4 million. And of course, after hours, there'll probably be 80 or 90 million. So logically, yeah, the PIF or someone could really swoop in and take advantage of these kind of cheap prices essentially, and kind of whether they rebadge Fisker or potentially merge them with 𝗖𝗧. I don't know, there's a lot of possibilities that could really come out from this, but a lot of people are speculating that the PIF could be swooping in as well. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Not counting after hours, surprisingly throughout the trading day, shorts did return 81,000 shares, 20.02% of the free float is being shorted, 90.63 million shares overall are being shorted, and 17.54% is at cost to borrow. It will be very interesting to see what does actually come from tomorrow, because going into tomorrow, shorts have no available shares. So they can't really double down, they can't really do that much. Of course, with bankruptcy coming, they could be kind of taking advantage and closing out some of their positions, as there's a lot of fear that does come, but who knows, we'll just have to wait and see. And one thing I did see on Twitter, 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 did post this, but it looks like Fisker's CEO actually did put up his house for rent. So obviously the timeliness of this alongside this news right here, not the best image. But who knows, it might be completely separate and not correlated by any means. We'll just have to kind of wait and see and not really add to the additional speculation. As far as options go, $136,000 in calls being purchased versus 81 in puts, and 61% of all the options being done today were optimistic. So if you were to take out that news that did come out after hours, generally this is very good information right here, but of course after hours will change the dynamic of everything. Big money wasn't really getting in today, at least for the long position. Dark pool, there was only 2 transactions above $100,000. So again, that's probably correlated with shorts. As far as going into tomorrow, it is below all the fib levels. So you kind of just have to realize it is going to be whole numbers. That's going to be the strong support. So 15 cents essentially. Other than that, it'll be around 12 cents. And whole numbers and whatever else. So it might be a very interesting day, good time to average down if you do truly believe in Fisker, or it might be a good time to essentially sell if you are wanting to salvage what little you have left, because even looking over the last 6 months, it is down 95%. Over the last 1 year, down 94%. It's very, very crappy of a chart. So I think all in all, not necessarily the best news. Is there some validity to it? At this stage, I would say no. At the same time, yes. Only because Fisker technically was coming to that route. So if I was Fisker's CEO, I would do a immediate interview and just talk on a lot of the possible candidates they were kind of reaching out to and what came from that. Again, I think transparency at this stage might be in the best interest of the company, but then again, what do I know? So let me know your thoughts. Do you think that this is real? Do you think that this is kind of fake? What is your thoughts on all of that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for an account with 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗛, throw $100 at it and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.